Hello. Um, welcome back to Down the Rabbit Hole. Today we are on episode 199. We are getting close to our 200th episode. And we are, but if you're new here, hit that like button, ring that bell for notifications. Also, please subscribe. Help a girl out. Um, Today we are going to be talking about Princess Alice. She was the Grand Duchess of Hesse and by Rhine. Um, Give me a second to control my laughter. It's Iron Bowl week, so I'm all in for football too. And I've been working on other projects this week, so we're getting everything going. Um, yes, I know some episodes are recorded out of order. Please don't hate me for it. I tried to record as much as I could, but sometimes you just gotta eventually start working on researching and everything else, right? But with that being said, why don't I get started, shall we? Princess Alice was somewhat of a brief footnote in history, and she was often overlooked by more celebrated family members. Many only know her as the daughter of England's Queen Victoria and the mother of Russia's Tsarista Alexandra. However, Alice was the Grand Duchess of Hesse and Drumstaff and was uniquely individual in her own right. Um, Alice Maud Mary was born on the early mornings of April 25th, 1843, and according to a journal entry Queen Victoria wrote a few weeks after her birth, the baby's two older siblings, Vicky and Bertie, happily welcomed their little sister into the family. Luckily, neither Victoria nor her Prince Albert was upset about the fact that their child was a second daughter. And the Queen appeared proudly of her newborn, writing in her journal that of the belief that Alice would become the beauty of the family. Alice had a typical royal upbringing, consisted of nannies and tutors coming for royalty, and contact with her family was somewhat limited with her siblings were her best friends. And she was a special companion to her brother Bertie, and the two remained close their entire lives. Now, Alice's relationship with her older sister Vicky was also friendly, as the little girls were often caught in some kind of mischief together. Um, Go back. I didn't tell you to do that. Thank you. Now, one time, the sisters went for a walk through the palace and encountered a servant polishing a black gate grate. And the children walked up to the young woman and kindly offered to help. But before the worker could accept or refuse the offer, Vicky and Alice grabbed the brushes, applied them to the servant's face and clothing, and the little girl successfully tried to keep from laughing, and the workers resembling a chimney sweeper darted from the room. Now, as Alice grew from a happy child and artistic talent with serious minded young woman, she proved to be a loyal and reliable member of the family. This commitment was evident when tragedy fell upon her home December 1861. That winter, her father would fall seriously ill of typhoid fever, and now Alice was 18. She was devoted to the entire time to nursing her father, which allowed the queen to attend to the business of the monarchy. Everything in Alice's life was put on hold, and she would spend endless days and nights reading to her father and trying to ease his pain. However, Prince Albert could not fight the illness, and despite Alice's constant attention, his death snatched him during the late hours, December 14th, 1861. The Queen, along with the rest of her family, was still mourning when Alice married Louis, the Grand Duke, Louis, the Grand Duke of Hesse and Darmstadt 7 months after her father's death, and their union produced 7 children: Victoria, Ella, Irene, Ernst, Frederick by his family, Alex, and May. Now, Prince Alice, through their family, had many bright moments. Louis and Alice eventually realized they shared little common, and Alice became frustrated at her husband for not having the ability to engage with her it was perceived to be perceived intelligent conversation. Um Now Alice's disappointment in her marriage did not stop her from taking an interest in her husband's subjects, however. Eventually, the Grand Duchess started to pay close attention to the social concerns of the lower classes. She would eventually visit the homes of the poorest families, many times incognito, in order to learn about the living conditions of how they could improve and what she witnessed. Alice once wrote about her mother's visit, as she wrote to her mother about the visit, stating that she felt the need to do of doing little good was capable of. Now, her desire for helping others was not limited to the poor. The Grand Duchess also found purpose in aiding wounded soldiers, and she developed a great interest in nursing homes. Um, and befriended the infamous Florence Nightingale. And it was an interest that caused Alice to take an active role during the Second Bismarck War, which occurred in 1866. Her gender limited her to what she could do. However, she did what she was allowed, which included making bandages for the wounded. Eventually, the war ended through Alice's commitment to nursing did not, and she started visiting hospital wards on a daily basis, bringing her children along. On November 1878, tragedy struck Alice's home. Her eldest daughter Victoria came down with diphtheria, and the little girl's fever was extremely high. 4 days later, Alice sent her mother a telegram stating that another daughter, Alex, had also contracted disease, and it appeared that the child would die. Not soon after, May would become ill as well. Eventually, all the children, with the exception of Ella, was infected by diphtheria. As it turned out, all but little May pulled through. The disease had resulted in a painful choking death for the little girl. Um, and Alice kept the news of May's death a secret from the others as long as she could. Eventually, the children would start to question their mom about May's absence, and she finally confessed that her sister had died. Ernie, still recovering from the illness, was extremely grieved. In an attempt to comfort him, Alice kissed the boy and she contacted diphtheria as a result of the action. Weak from her sleepless nights of nursing her family through the ordeal, Alice had no strength to fight the illness, and on December 14th, the 17th anniversary of her father's death, she passed away at only 35. Now, her attempts would improve the lives of the most humble, as well as devotion to her sick and injured speaks volumes. And despite this, she is somewhat of a faded memory that is caught in the celebrated Queen in Doom, Zarista. Zarita. That is it for this episode. I hope y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. Y'all can join me next time as we talk about Princess Helena. Um, y'all have a great day.